This is a brand new scanner from VDIAGTOOL with some impressive features for the price. The model is VD700 Lite, but there is nothing light about it. It's a full system, bidirectional feature-packed scanner with modern hardware. Let's check it out. All right, so let's get started. I just plugged this into my BMW X7 so we can do a full scan, check out some of the special functions, and see how well this thing actually works. So before I could get started, I did have to provide my email address and a password, but it was very simple. There was nothing else that needed to be provided. And then I was able to connect to my network and update all of the apps. As you can see, going between different screens is quick as well. We just jump to the settings. We can change all these different languages, tons of different ones, so that's good to see. We have units, so we can switch to Imperial or US. USB settings, so what happens when you plug it into the computer. Sound and display, so we can change the brightness and some information about this actual device. There are, of course, a lot more options here. So if you go to this menu right here, this will take you to the original Android screen. And once you're in this Android screen, you can just do all the Android things. You have a camera, you can do videos, pictures, you know, whatever you want. But that's not what we're here for. We're gonna check out the software that's actually gonna be working with our car. So the first one is auto scan. This will automatically pick up your VIN number and then figure out what the vehicle is. You can do the same thing with manual diagnosis. So this will basically just make you pick what vehicle you are in, and it's actually a good way to show you all the vehicles that this supports, which is like over 150 different models. So crazy, but it supports basically everything. So you have your standard OBD2 functionality, not very interesting. A lot of scanners do that, but you also have all of the vehicle specific ones that are right here. This is for Europe. This is going to be for Asian vehicles, American, Chinese. You even have light trucks over there, Australia. So anything you can really imagine, you can do that. But of course, we can go back and just click the auto scan. And as you can see, it just updated the VCI on this unit. So that's awesome. It's going to have the latest version. And now it's going to actually scan the vehicle, get the VIN number, and give us a little bit more information. Just a few seconds later, the VIN number is provided. We have the series of the vehicle, the car model, everything's figured out. So that's cool to see. It was pretty accurate there as well. So that's, you know, obviously not every scanner is going to be as accurate, but that's good. Now we have automatic scan, system selection, fast code reading, and fast code clearance. So this will just read all of the codes and all of the modules and all of the systems. This one will just clear all of them. So if that's all you want to do, you can just hit that and it's going to clear all of the codes. You can also do system selection. So you're just going to go in here and you can select which system you want to scan the modules on. Or you can go all the way back, do automatic scan. It will scan all of the modules that are available on the vehicle. And look how fast this goes. And this is for a good reason. This scanner offers modern DOIP protocols to ensure seamless and faster communication on newer cars like this X7. So for the G series BMWs, super important. Did you see how fast that was? That was 33 different systems scanned, and that was like couple of seconds. Amazing. And as you can see, it did find a ton of different faults in here. A lot of them are, you know, not that important, but from here we can just go and clear all DTCs. So we'll go through each system or each module and then just clear that code from the module. After it has deleted all of the codes, it has rescanned all of the modules, and 3 of them actually do still have permanent codes. We can see what those are. So on this one, this is a function restriction to Apple CarPlay, sure, whatever. And we have a wear sensor for the rear axle, the brake pads. Yes, this is correct. I need to change the brake pads on this car and I haven't done it yet. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Of course, you can run a report from here. So you can hit report and it's going to generate a report with all of the information, all of the fault codes that show up on here, the rest of the modules that were scanned, and you can leave your remarks and then save this if you like. And this is vehicle and system or module specific. So it's not like it's just scanning, you know, standard OBD2 PIDs that you would only see on the engine and transmission. This is for any module. Clearly we can see that here, right? So if we go to Combi, right, so this will be our I think dashboard. So we can go into Diagnostics here, and here we can do a lot more. So we have trouble codes. We can read those trouble codes from here, clear them if we like. We can see live data. So as an example, we can see the data for the heads-up display. It's going to read that stuff, and there you go. So we have some part numbers and whatever. Well, not very interesting in here. But if we go to, let's say, fuel consumption, we can do that stuff right here. So we can see how much fuel's left in the car, what was the fuel consumption for the last 10,000 kilometers, and everything else. And every single module will show you something different. So we can just do all of them if we like from this specific module. And look at that. All that stuff is just available right here. Obviously, this will be very different on different modules, but super cool to see that you can read those specific live data points from any module on the vehicle. This is very, very helpful when you're troubleshooting something, because let's say a button's not working, you can press a button and it will tell you, was that button registered or not? I've actually done this on my Z4 to fix the roof, and it works really well. We also have freeze frame data, but that's kind of not that interesting. Actuation testing is very interesting because this is actually the bidirectional functionality. So we can do heads-up display, and as an example, we can activate or deactivate the heads-up display. We can make it blue or whatever, so to test the pixels to see if it's actually working. So I actually really wanted to show you this active testing, so I went to a different module, which is going to be for that screen right there, and I'm going to activate one of the tests, and as you can see, it makes that screen blue to make sure all of the pixels are working and can produce whatever you need to produce. And that's not just the only thing. You can, obviously do different colors. You can do different patterns, so something like this, no signal pattern. So I hope you get the idea, but basically you can do these kind of tests on any module that allows it. So if you want to enable a certain button or enable certain feature or activate a light or an LED, you can do that using this. So we can do the same thing for audio. For example, we can reset the tone settings, we can do some Bluetooth stuff, turn it off or activate it. We can reset the control unit or even reset the profiles. And this stuff is on every single unit. So if I jump into like driver's seat module, I have no idea what's on this one, but if you go to actuation testing, we can see that we can turn on seat ventilation. So we can set it to different speeds and just turn it on from here. How cool is that? So, or seat heating, whatever, like this will just work, or even seat adjustments. So we can go in here and we can do all these changes from the scanner. So that's what makes this a premium bidirectional scanner, even though it doesn't really cost what a premium bidirectional scanner would be. The only feature that's missing here that I can think of is actually coding these modules, but that's usually, on scanners that are about twice the price. Okay, all right, so that's the basics of the functionality when it comes to diagnostics here. The other thing that's really impressive is the special functions. So if you go into these special functions, these are all of the things that you can adjust depending on the vehicle. Not all of them are going to be supported on, let's say, BMWs. This is specific to a vehicle, right? So what we just saw earlier, that was OE level diagnostics. This is functionality that may or may not be available on your vehicle. So key programming, yes, this can actually program keys, but it will not program keys on a BMW. But we can adjust instrument cluster stuff, power balance, language changes, transport mode, TPMS reset. So super helpful if you're like changing wheels and tires. Airflow sensor reset, high voltage battery functionality. Very cool. I should check that out in my i3. Gearbox matching, gear learning, steering angle sensor reset, oil reset, electronic parking brake. So if you're changing your brakes, this is super important that you have this. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible to take those out on a lot of newer vehicles. Headlight adjustments, electronic pump activation. So, I mean, look at all this stuff. Suspension, seat calibration. You can even program EEPROMs, but I think you have to have special hardware for that as well. Different ECU configurations, BMS reset. So if you change the battery on this car, you must register it, and this will do it for you. Throttle calibration, ABS bleeding. So if you want to bleed the brakes, you can do that from here. You can reset the start-stop, auto start-stop function, and even window initialization, injector coding. You must code injectors on a lot of these vehicles, or it will be trouble. If you don't, your car's gonna not run well, and all these other things. And it even has airbag reset. So as you can see, tons and tons of features. I'm pretty impressed with this. One last thing I wanted to show you is actually 8 crafts in one. Okay, I've selected a few items and we're gonna do custom. So that's just going to be those items that I have selected. And now we can do display all. So now it's pulling that information. I'm going to start the car. With the car started, I'm going to go to graph. And as you can see, we're graphing all of that data. So if I rev it up a little bit, we can see all of that changing live. Feels pretty responsive. So we can look at the Vanos position. We can see the degrees here, boost pressure right there. So we got 14.4 psi of throttle pressure, and you can even export this data if you like. So if you hit export, you can record this. So you can see it's recording the time and the frames. Once it's done, you hit data export, and it's going to save it on. So save it right there, and there you go, and you can retrieve it later. One thing also to mention is that this has 3 years of free updates. After that, you'll have to pay, but hey, 3 years is not bad. Most of the scanners are switching to a model where, you know, first year is free and then you have to pay for it. So it's pretty nice to see that it's actually including 3 years. And quickly, here is that playback. So you can play back that data. There it is. You can move around and see it at any point. Very nice. And we can also have that report, not delete, that we saved earlier. There you go. Let's take a quick look at this box and see what comes inside the box, and of course at some of these features. So yes, this will do all system diagnostics, 31 special services or functions, bidirectional control. It can also do graphing, 8-in-1 in fact, premium hardware. I want to see how well that actually works. Just some specs on the back here, quite a heavy unit, but there's a lot of stuff in here, I assume. Large battery, so this is 18.25 watt-hour batteries. We have 2 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, quad-core CPU, Android 10, which is awesome, and a 7-inch touchscreen. And for the price, honestly, it seems like a really good deal. So I want to see how well this actually works, and are they missing anything, or is this just genuinely a really good deal? It comes in this nice hard case. So let's open it up, see what's inside. All right, quite a few things in here. We have our packing list and a quick start guide in the back. Tells you plug it in, update it, I assume, things like that. We have our OBD2 cable, a few different power adapters, and a USB-A to USB-C adapter. We also have this USB-C to USB-C cable. Good to see that they're including all of this stuff. And of course, we have the unit itself. It definitely feels nice and heavy in the hand, so it doesn't feel like it's a cheap item. These grips are quite nice. This is like a rubbery, slightly harder rubber, but feels decent on the hand. We have a few bumpers here, so if you hit it against the table or it falls, probably not going to be too big of a deal. Power button on the top here, probably a microphone right there. We have a USB-C and the OBD2 port. On the back, we have camera with an LED. Good to see, so you can probably record, you know, issues on the car or something like that, and then present it to your customer if you're working in a shop. This is a very nice stiff hinge. So you can put it just like that, and it will stay basically in any position you can imagine. Great. Well, this feels definitely like a very premium item, and well, they're about 300 bucks right now. So let me know what you guys think about this one. I think it's pretty impressive for the price, so I'd love to hear your opinion on this as well. Leave your comments down below. Check out the links in the description if you'd like to purchase one and support the channel by using the affiliated link. You don't have to if you don't want to. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.